Hey, hi, welcome guys. Welcome back to our channel, which is Five Run. Doubt at all. Suppose I am going to add something in the B. Okay, let me make a different line. Suppose I am going to add something in the B plus 2. So what the output should come? Output should be 4, right? Output should be 4. Okay. And now if I am going to print the value of A, if I am going to print the value of A, can anyone please help me what the output should come? What the output should come? Can any chat should be fine, no need to be unmute. 2. Okay, Vivek Kumar is saying the 2. Let's see what the output we are getting. Okay, okay, cool, we are getting the 2. Cool. Now let me show you one more thing. And suppose I am going to do one thing. I am going to do one thing here. A is A plus 2. Now if I am going to print here B, so what the output should come? 4. Okay, let me show you. Can anyone see this? What is the happening here? See, initially A is equal to 2 and B is equal to, okay, here we are getting 2, 2. Now I added in the A plus 2, and I am going to, now new value of A become, not A become, see, still A is what? Still A is 2 only. We just added the 2 in the 2. So that's what we are getting 4. But still we are getting B. What is the value of B? B is A itself right now. It's a 2 only. Okay. Now up to this, no doubt, right? That's what it's coming to. Okay. No worries. No worries. Now I'm going to show you some concept like a shallow copying and deep copying. Try to understand what I'm going to show you. Shallow copying and deep copying. What is this? Deep copying. Now, okay, now A is equal to 2 plus 2. A is equal to 2 plus 2. I am doing here. Okay, and if I am adding in A, so it will affect in the B also, no doubt at all. Okay, it will affect in the B also. So this concept is known as the kind of shallow copying. Means if we are adding in the A and it effect is going to the B. Let's see. Print A. If I'm printing A, what the output should come? Can anyone help me? Yes, it is 4. Now if I am going to print B, what the output should come? This is 2. Okay, so why it is kind of thing? Can anyone help me? This is known as the shallow copying. Okay, A value got assigned. First we initialize the A value, and then we had declared this A value to B. Okay, and afterward we are going to change the value of A. So it will not affect the value of B, because B value is getting initialized at the first line, means line number 2 only. So that's what B value will not affect at that point. Am I making sense to you? You have to understand the sequence once, means where we are initializing. See, in the line number 2 we initialize the value of A, and then in line number 3 what we had done, the same 2 we had initialized to the B, and next line number 4 what we did, we changed the value of A, and this value we change, and afterward are we initializing the B? No, we are not initializing the B. Okay, so that's what the value of B is still 2. Hope it makes sense. Yes. Now now let's suppose I am doing one thing. Import copy, import copy. Okay, import copy, and what I'm going to do, try to understand the concept. B is equal to A, B is equal to A, and 1 minute. Now if I am going to print the address of how we are going to get the address, id is equal to A, and if we are printing the address of A, and if same thing I would like to print the address of B, what is the address of, what should be the address should be same or different? Can anyone help me? Address should be same or different? Yes, it is same. Why it is same? Because Python having the good memory management concept. If data is same, then it will store in the, it will capture the same memory allocation. So that's what address is same. Now if I want to store the same value at the different location, because I have this requirement, I want to store the same value at the different location, then you should know the copy concept, that is known as the deep copy. So what you can do, copy, see, copy is the package. I'll let you know what is the package. Okay, right now just understand import copy. See, I'll tell you again, import statement. Import is the keyword in case of Python. I'll tell you again one story here. Suppose 1 minute, let me open the paint. Okay, I guess it opened already. Okay, so suppose you went to your friend home, you went in your friend, okay, suppose you went in your friend room home, and what you seen, you had seen one beautiful shoes over there, and what you will do, will you bring that shoes directly? No, you cannot bring that shoes. There is a two possible ways so that you can bring that her or his shoes to your room. Either you have to take a permission with them ki I am going to bring your shoes, or else you have to go to the market and then you can purchase, right? You cannot directly call, or sorry, you cannot directly bring that shoes, right? This is the two possible way. So in case of Python also, if we are going to take some another method which is written by someone else, okay, which is written by someone else, so in order to do this kind of thing, you should know the import concept. Means we are going to import their method in our packages. So that's what we wrote it here, import copy, and then I am going to call copy dot deep copy, and here you can pass here a, and let's see now, let's see now the address of a and b. Okay, now let's see, right now the address is same, right? Now, oh shit, I guess there is a something which I am doing wrong, or else there is a something which is the bug in case of Python. Okay, so now let's discuss about something kind of looping concept. Okay, copy concept, I'll let you know again. I'll discuss this deep copy and shallow copy once again. I guess this is the bug in case of Python then, because in case of shallow copy also it is taking the same memory location, and whenever I am calling the deep copy, that time also it is taking the same memory location. So we'll see this. Okay, now let's discuss about the looping concept. What is the looping concept? So loop is nothing else. So in case of Java, there is a four kind of loop. One is for loop, another is while loop, sorry, while loop, comma do while loop, and for enhance for loop, or you can say advanced for loop, whatever you can say. Okay, but in case of Java Python, there is only one kind of loop, two kind of loop. One is for loop, another is while loop. Okay, so what is for loop, what is while loop? So why we need for, again, if we are going to learn something, then we should know why we have to learn. Okay, so there is a one concept like a for loop and while loop. Suppose I would like to print kind of this pybron 1000 time. I have to print this pybron 1000 time. So what you will do, what you can do, you can copy paste this, and you can copy paste this and you can paste it up to 1000 time, right? Is it, you are going to do up to this, whatever you have the knowledge with you. With that, if I will tell you to print the pybron 1000 times, so you have to write the line of code, same line of code 1000 times. Is it a good practice? Is it a good practice of the kind of Python coding? No, it's not a good practice, right? If we are going to do anything, so we have to made a logic. Okay, so in order to perform the same action, you are going to write same line multiple time, then it's not a good deal, right? So in order to overcome this kind of problem, what we are going to learn, we are going to learn the loop concept. And afterwards I will show you how we can use the loop concept in the list enhancement. Okay, so let's do, I told you, right? I told you if I want to print the pybron to the 1000 time, what we can do, there is a one way we can write 1000 line of code. That is not a good deal. So in order to overcome this kind of problem, what we supposed to do, just type for, and for I in range range and pass here 1000. Okay, pass here 1000. Okay, let's suppose I'm passing here 20 so that I can show you up. Okay, now inside of for loop, I'll explain, don't worry, let me type the code print, and if I'm passing here print pybron, what is going to be happen, just try to understand. See, can you see this, my output? This output got printed 20 times. Can you see this? Can anyone count this? So what is going to be happen, try to understand. I'll explain you. So let me open my drawing. Okay, okay, so what is going to be happen here? See, if you know this concept, then it will be very easy to explain you the, you know, kind of. Okay, okay, let me explain you here only. So what is going to be happen here, see, try to understand here. So what is that range function? See, whenever I am writing here range 20, so what is going to be happen, it is creating one tuple or list, you can say, between 0 to that specific number. So 0 to 19, how many number will be? 0 to 19, 20 number, and it will work like a 0 comma 1 comma 2 comma 2 comma 3 comma 4 comma 5 comma 6 comma 7. Everything is working in the compiler. I don't know what is going to be happen in this paint. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 till 20 till 19. Okay, so now try to understand what is going to be happen. First time I will pick 0 and it will check 0 is less than 20. Okay, yes, it is less than 20. Condition is true. So it will come inside of for loop, and inside of for loop, what I given the instruction here, print pybron, so it will print the pybron. Got it? Similarly, again I will be increased by 1, and 0 plus 1, it will be 1, and next time it will print 1 is again less than 20. It will check the condition first. 1 is less than 20, then again it will print the pybron. Similarly, 1 become 2, next time 1 become 2. See, whatever I am highlighting here, that point, I become 2, because it will increase 1 by 1. One number, it will get increase the number by 1, and it will check the condition. Oh, condition is 20, so 2 is less than 20, so it will print the pybron. You can put whatever condition you want to do, that we can do it up, but it's a very simple process. That's what I given here. Similarly, if you want to make a list, suppose I made a list, how we are defining the list? 3 comma Rajesh comma pybron comma pybron comma 9 comma 8. Okay, I had given here 9 comma 8 comma. Okay, now what I'm going to do, I would like to iterate the list. How we can iterate the list? I in L. So what is going to happen, try to understand here. Okay, so now if I would like to print the L, if I want to like to print the I, so what is going to happen, try to understand here. So if I'm printing here, so one by one element is getting print inside of list. So first time I will be pick this 3. Okay, and then it will print. This loop will iterate till that time, until that list is not getting finished. Okay, so first time it will pick the 3, and it picked me 3 here printed, and next time 3 got finished. Now Rajesh, so I will be pick the Rajesh as a point, and it will print the Rajesh. Third time pybron, it will pick the pybron, and it will print the pybron here. Fourth time 9, and then 8. So this loop, in case of Java, we have to define how many times that loop has to be execute, right? Let me restart the paint once again. I might be, this is the issue, because last time also I faced the same thing. Just now I took a class, and that time it was working fine. Maybe. Yes, it is working. Okay. So now it might be the issue, maybe there is some technical issue, I cannot do anything. So what is going to be happen? See, first I'm going to, let me explain from the beginning. I in range, suppose 5 I had given here. See, concept should be clear. Here concept should be clear. So range, once you're writing here range function, so automatically it will, the backend, it is creating tuple or list, whatever you can say. 1 2 3 4, 0 1 2 3 1 2 3 4, and that's all. 5 will not print. And next I am saying here print I. So first time I will be picked to the 0. Next time, so 0 will print. And next time 1, 2, 3. Because I gave the instruction here I have to print. And suppose you are not giving the instruction to print I. If you are giving the instruction to print your name. Suppose you are going to give the instruction XYZ to print. So it will print XYZ. How many time it will iterate? So how many time it is going to be iterate? 5 time. So 5 time XYZ will get print. Similar concept is here also. See, I had created one list like Rajesh, comma Pybron, comma 9, comma 8. So what is going to happen? See, in the range function also backend is going to be happen the same thing. I'll teach you about the iterator and generator. That time you will get a clear picture about the range function. Okay. So for I in, suppose this is the list. Suppose here, this is the list I in L, and what is going to be happen? First I will pick the first member of this list. So if I'm going to print I, so what is the value of I at the first go? Rajesh, right? So it will print Rajesh. It will print Rajesh. Next time I will reach to the second index. So what is the second index is here? Pybron. Okay. So it will print the Pybron. Third time if I will iterate to the list, so what is going to be print here? 9. So it will print here 9. Fourth time if it is going to be iterate, so what is the value of this fourth time? 8. So like this it will happen. So no need to initialize, or you can say you have to tell how many times loop has to be executed. But in case of Java we have to define from where it has to start. Like I can give the syntax also. In case of Java, for int means data type I is equal to 0 means initialization, then I less than equal to condition also 20, and then I plus plus. We have to give, this is the syntax. This is the syntax in case of Java, but in case of Python is not like that. Python is very kind of intelligent language, you can say, and it will automatically understand with the help of your command ki how many time I have to execute. Okay, got it. So this is the concept of the loop concept. And suppose I would like to give the one homework to you. Yes, it will be homework. Okay, so what is the homework for you guys? You have to ask a number with the user. Ask first question. Okay, first ask a number with the user. Ask a number with the user. Okay, note down this homework. Second, ask the number with the user and print that table in console in the given format. Okay, format. What is the format? See, if suppose user has given the 2 has given, so how we are writing the table in class lower nursery or LKG or UKG? So 2 1 ja 2, 2 2 ja 4, like this you have to print. Okay, 2 3 ja 6, 2 4 ja 8. Okay, I can give you the like this 2 10 ja 20. So I can give you some kind of thing, so how you can initialize the things, and you can think about that. So do you have any prior knowledge how we can do these things? Anyone? You will not raise. No one will raise the hand. I have to pick anyone. No. Amit is saying no. Okay. Anyone? Sonia are on the call or?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So can you try?
So we will give for I in range and 10.
Yes. Yes, you are correct. Correct. Go ahead.
And then we will print the number. First, we will take a number from the user,
Mm-hmm.
and
Okay.
then we will print
Hang on a
number.
call. Hang on a call. We will do in front of all. Okay.
Yes.
Number.
Yes.
You are saying I'll take another question for you. Don't worry. Don't think like that. Oh, sir is doing in front of me. Don't worry. I have another question for you. So it's a very starting input, and you have to ask with the user. User,
Yes.
please enter. Please, please enter the number and number will enter. And what is the return type of this input method? Can anyone help me? This is the string. So we as a programmer, our responsibility to convert the string into number, or sorry, integer. So we had converted, now number came. Okay, I would like to make it as a simple num, that's all. Now what is that? Any table is going to be till 10 time, right? So for I, oh shit, in range 10, you are saying 10. If you'll give the okay, let me show you. There is a problem. I'll if you will get the problem, then only solution will come. Until unless problem will not face, you will not get the solution. Okay, so now what is the format our? First we have to give number, right? We have to give the number whatever user is passing, then 1 2 3. Don't you think so? Yeah, 1 2 3 is going to be come from where? I, right? Am I making sense? Right? This 1 2 3, this 1 2 3 is increasing by which? I, right? I will be first 0 1 2 3, right? So what I'm going to do, try to understand here. Print I, sorry, num, num, okay, and comma, double inverted comma, x means 2 cross I. So I will come here, 2 cross I equal to equal to num into I. Num into, sorry, I made a mistake, my bad. Num into I. Okay, let's see what the output we are getting. Okay, please enter the number. It is asking to enter the number. Okay, we are getting 2 0 0 2 1 2. Is it a correct table? No, right? It's not a correct table, right? Because table is going to be start from the 1, 2 1 2, 2 3 2, 2 2 4, 2 3 6, like this. So what we can do? We can define here initial point also, right? Starting point. So how we can define? See, 1 comma 10. If we are giving 1 comma 10, see, can you see the signature of the method? Range, starting, stop, and step. Okay, so step I'll discuss you later. So this is the starting point and this is the ending point. So what I have to give here? 11, right? Then only last point will be you can say explicit. Okay, so let me run this code. Now again it is saying to enter the number. Now I am getting the correct output. 2 1 2, 2 2 4, 2 3 6, 2 4 8, like this. Okay, don't you think so? It's a good practice of programming, right? Means if you every time we are asking here 15, suppose I am giving the table and I am getting the table, complete table of that number. If I am giving the number and it is getting complete table of that number. Okay, hope it makes sense, right? Understood the concept? Who was not aware about this? So you can do like this, right? You can take a kind of number and and you can print the table. Okay, so that's fine. I'll pass this over the chat. Now I am giving the another homework to you guys. There is a yesterday is the sorry, tomorrow will be the weekend and day after tomorrow also will be weekend. So you have to do the some task. Okay, what I'm asking, 1 minute. You have to write a logic. Okay, are you ready to take a homeworks? Please tell me yes or no over the chat. Okay, yes, okay, cool. So see, it's a very simple homework I having, right? You, if you'll spend around 5 to 10 minutes now, you can easily aram complete your homework. Okay, homework only just for your understanding, what you are understanding with me. Okay, that only you are showing here. First thing, you have to take a table number. You have to take a table number. You have to take the number with user. Got it. Second time, what we are going to do? Second time, you have to print the table by skipping one value, by skipping one value. I'll tell you how to do. One value. Okay, so let's suppose 2 1 ja 2 you printed. Next time 2 3 ja 6. This kind of thing you have to do like this. Okay, so this you have to do. Got it? 2 3 ja, then 2 5 ja, not 2 4 ja, 2 5 ja. This you have to do. Okay, next, this is the one homework. This I can say this is the one homework. 1 minute. This is the homework number 1. Next thing, if else I did not taught you yet. Okay, I'll tell you, I'll teach you now. Second homework is what? You have to identify whether you have to ask first, you have to take the input from the user, okay, and then you have to check the condition, then print whether input is even or odd. Got it? So this you have to do. 2 homework I had given till now, and I'm teaching now for loop, if else also, don't worry. But the homework you understood, right? Whatever I had given, you can do it up. Okay. Any doubt with this homework? It's a 5-minute job only, 5 minutes. And already I given the solution here. You have to do something implementation here. Sonia is saying no. Sonia, can you unmute yourself? I would like to know what you did not understand here.
Sir, I'm saying that no doubt.
Okay, sorry. Okay. Then, okay. So for loop you understood, right? Now, same thing, whatever things we did with the for loop, same thing we can do with the while loop also. Okay. So while loop, how the things is going to be happen with the while loop. Okay. So let me teach you the while loop. Now how the while loop is going to be work? See, I just now I'll define here L is equal to, here I'm going to define 1 comma 2 comma 3 comma 4 comma 5 comma 6 comma 7 comma 8. Okay, and now same thing we did in case of for loop, means if I want to take a number one by one. Okay, and one more homework to you guys. Okay, third homework. Let me, if I am here only, take a list. Third number. Take a list. Second, list you taken, and in list ensure that all the list value should be integer or float, anything, and then whatever number is even, then print the number, even, then keep inside of the dictionary. How to put inside of dictionary? Suppose I have one list like this, 2 3 7 comma 4 comma 8, right? And you have to keep all those even number inside of dictionary. How to keep inside of dictionary? Suppose 2 is the even number, right? So what is the index of 2? 0. So 0 comma 2. Similarly, 4 is the even number. So what is the index of 4? Is the 4, right? So 4 comma colon 4. And similarly, 8 is the 5. 8 is the index is 5. So you have to make a dictionary with this list. So what is the dictionary value? Means inside of dictionary, all those even numbers should be there, and their key should be the index of the list. Are you getting my point? Understandable, right? Problem is understand. You understood the problem, because understanding of the problem is very important here. So you have to do it up. Okay, note down these 3 homework. I am expecting everyone can finish it up before Monday, and if you can finish today night or tomorrow also, no problem, you can pass over the chat. Okay, So chat is not good because everyone can see your stuffs. So you can privately chat me, you having my Skype ID. Okay, cool. No worries, no worries. Okay, now I'm going to implement the same thing with the while loop. Okay, see, some of the people will say, oh, sir is teaching simple thing and giving the homework very tough, right? No, it's not kind of that. See, if you will do some kind of hard stuff, then only you can able to learn something. Okay, otherwise you cannot able to learn. Oh, I have to implement while loop, right? While, and here I am giving here I. Okay, before making the list, remove the list, and here I am giving I less than 10. And what is this? Unresolved reference I. Acha, I is equal to 0. Now it's fine. And here print I. Okay, so what is going to be happen? Try to understand. If I'm going to run this code, are you ready for take a shock? Can you see this? What is going to be happen? Infinite loop is going to be run, and then my program is not getting finished. Am I making sense? What is there? What is going to be happen? Try to understand here. See, I'm not going to stop this program as of now. Okay, and I'm not getting one means.
So it will print only one because we have not given any increment here.
Exactly, means we did not provide the incrementing here where the loop has to be finished, right? So until unless I'm not giving the instruction here where you have to finish, so how the loop will get stopped? So right now what is going to be happen? See, I is the 0, and now it is going to check the condition here. I less than 10 means 0 less than 10. Okay, condition is true, so it is printing me 0. Next time again I still is 0, right? So again the condition is true, and again 0 is going to be print. Similar fashion is going to be happen till infinite loop. Okay, now if I'll put the condition here like I plus equal to 1. If I'm going to do this, let me stop this program once. And now if we are doing, yes, we can able to do this, right? So in the first case I will be 0, 0 is less than 10, condition is true. If condition is true, then it will print here I, what is the value of I? 0. Next, in the line number 5, what is going to be happen here? It is going to be happen like this, key 0 plus 1 become 1, and 1 is less than 10, again condition is true, it will print 1. And next time again I 1 will be added by 1, so new value of I will be 2, condition is true, so it will go and it will print there. Got it? So it will happen till 9, and once it reaches to the 9, so 9 again added by 1, it become a 10. 10 is not less than 10, 10 is equal to 10. That's what condition got failed, and it came outside from the loop. Got it? Don't you think so? We did the same thing in case of for loop. Though why the developer made the while loop? Okay, we had done the same thing in case of for loop also. So why we made why the developer made the while loop? Why they waste their time to create a while loop? Okay, so note down, please note down, please. If you have a pen and notebook, then please note down. See, okay, how many people are aware about that Nokia 1100, that snack game? Okay, so in case of snack game, in case of snack game, I really like to play that game. Afterward, I did not played any game over my mobile. Okay, till my age. Yes, that was my first and last game. Afterward, I did not played any game. Okay, so what is that? Once uh, in that what is going to be happen? Once you once the snack is biting itself, or once the snack is going to touch with the wall, then what is going to be happen? You are getting out, and that time you are not able to get another chance to play. Means once you get the out, you are coming out from the program. Is it like this? Yes, it is like this. Means in this, programmer will decide ki how many time you will get a chance. Okay, how many people are played Temple Run game? I never played, but I know the concept there also. See, in case of Temple Run, 3 or 4 time, I guess you will get a chance to play there. Means once you get the out, once you will get the out, and then another chance you will get it out to play there. And second time also, third time also. After third time, you will come out from the program also. So this is kind of the looping concept only. When programmer knows ki how many time loop has to be executed. Similar kind of thing. I'll tell you one more example. In case of ATM card, right? If you are giving 3 times wrong password, your ATM is going to be blocked for 24 hours. Is it like this? So in that, developer knows ki how many time they have to execute the code or loop. Then you should go with the for loop. But if you are going to give the complete control to the users, then you have to go with the while loop. Okay, so similar, I must say, if complete control on the user, then we should go with the while loop. Okay, good. No worries, no worries. Now understood the concept. What is the difference between the while loop, for loop? The most popular interview question. If we can do the same thing with the while loop and for loop also. But don't you think so? If you know the syntax of for loop, I had pass here. My son plays. Okay. Can you see the syntax of for loop? See, here we are defining how many time we have to execute over the chat only. Okay. Are you able to see the chat? Okay, so in case of for loop, whenever we are defining the for loop, we as a programmer, we are going to define how many time loop has to be executed. But in case of while loop, see, this is the condition. This is not a definition. You can put, user can change the condition itself also. And then complete control is going to be happen on the, kind of this users. And I had showed you also how to run the infinite loop. Okay, so this is the one difference in case of while loop and for loop. Now I'm going to give one more homework because this is the weekend. So in case of weekend, you will get a lot of homework. How many homework had happened? 3, right? Now fourth homework. Okay, you have to build kind of, okay, fourth number, you have to build a ATM system. You have to build an ATM system. How the ATM card is working? You have to ask the password with the user. Ask the password with the user. Then ask the password with the user. Then check password is right or wrong. Okay, if it is right, okay, if condition I did not taught you yet. Okay, I'll give this homework later. Wait a minute. So do while you understood. Now I'm going to teach you conditional operator like if operator, else operator, and elif operator. Okay, wait a while. Okay, and after the end of the class, I'll give one homework. Means it's a kind of project. Up to this, whatever we taught in the coming week, in the last weekend. Okay, over this week, what we have taught, over that I am going to make a one project. Give me some time. I would like to take a water. Allow me some time, guys. You can also take a break once if you need 5 minutes. Okay, conditional operator. Let's discuss about the conditional operator. Sorry, I have to pass this to over the chat, so it will be your current note. Okay, so conditional operator. Okay, what is conditional operator? If, comma, else, comma, if, spelling mistake, comma, elif, comma, else. Okay, these are the conditional operator. Let's see, everyone is here, they did their engineering, and after that you reach to this place. Okay, how you took the admission in the engineering? You got some certain marks, then only you took admission in the engineering college, right? So actually I have some hammering problem over the night. It is happening over the night only. Now let's see what I'm going to do. So you have to ask with the user, hey user, what is your percentage? Means input percentage first, percentage input, enter your percentage, enter your percentage. So user will enter the percentage, and what is our job? We have to convert the percentage into string, into the integer or float, right? So float will be better, I must say, because sometime percentage will come in the fraction also. So we will keep inside of float. Now what I have to check, if percentage greater than 60%, 60, then print you are eligible to take the admission in BITS planning. If you don't have this, if you have less than 60%, so what you can do? Else put the condition else, and here print you are not eligible. Okay, let me run this code. It is asking to enter their percentage. I am giving here 70%. Yes, you are eligible to take a admission in BITS planning. Okay, let me execute once again this code, and if I am passing here 40, so what is going to be happen? See, you are not eligible. Got it? Now I'm going to counseling session. I'm going to make a counseling session. Okay, in the counseling, what is going to be happen? If your percentage is 0 to 30, then you are fail. If your percentage 30 to 50, then sorry, if your percentage is 90 to 100, then you are means first division mark. 70 to 90, then second, and 30 to 40, 60, then third division, and less than 30, it will be fail. So let's build that kind of percentage. Okay, so what we can do, if your percentage is greater than 90 and percentage less than 100, less than and equal to also will be there 100, then you are first division, you got first division, you passed with first division, first division. Next, if acha, there is a 3 condition is there, right? So if you want to put a different multiple condition, what you have to do, you have to write like a elif condition, elif and else if. In case of Java, the syntax was else if, keyword was else if, but in case of Python is it's elif. Okay, so if your percentage is greater than 17, sorry, greater than 70, sorry, not 17, 70, and less than 90, percentage, and oh sorry, I made a mistake, sorry, my bad, and percentage less than 90, less than equal to 90, so you are not eligible, you are a second division, you pass with the second division. next is what? Okay, percentage is 90, and then fine, you pass with the second division. Next, third condition is what, sir? Third condition is L if percentage is greater than 30, you can put your condition. I am not bothering about that. My intention that I am going to give a beautiful project to you. Okay, anyone who can able to complete that, I really appreciate your job. And yeah, I would like to give one dairy milk behalf of mine. Whatever you want, you can take with me. Okay, I'll pass the Google Pay amount to your wallet. You can take a dairy milk. Whoever can complete my project, whatever I am going to give you. Okay, yes. So 70 to 90, and okay, less than 90, less than, sorry, 70, less than equal to 70. So you passed with third division. Print you passed with third division. Okay, third division. ठीक है. Next, if none of the cases will match, the what else? Else you are failed. You are a failure. Oh, you are a failure. Okay, you are a failure. Spelling, I don't know what is the spelling. And now next is that let me run this code, and let's see if I'm giving here 50, you passed with third division. Got it. And if I'm giving here, what is that, 92, you passed with the first division. Are you getting my point? Now your turn. Now coming to the homework session. Any doubt in this? Chat should be fine. No doubt. Okay, let me execute my code. Sorry, let me give the homework. So you have to build the ATM system, ask the password with the user, check the password is right or wrong. Then if it is a right password, then you have to display the certain features. Means what the feature? Withdraw kind of thing. You know the ATM system better than me. Okay, withdraw, check balance. Okay, third, withdraw. Okay, check balance. That's a two feature is much better. Now if he is going to withdraw the amount, suppose he having the 5,000 rupees in his account and he withdraw here 1,000. So what should be the balance? If he is going to check, then it should show 4,000. So that also calculation you have to do here. Means you have to build like a 4,000 it should display. Next is what? Once check balance has done, balance check is done, then what? You can insert the amount also. Means if you want to add the amount, it is possible right now with the ATM also we can deposit the amount. Means deposit also. So first without okay, first let me make it another way. First deposit, then check, then withdraw, then again check. Got it? If password is right, then only. If password is wrong, then what is going to be happen? No, you enter the wrong password. This kind of, okay. If else, once you understood the concept, right? So once your password is wrong, so again you have to go into the home page and you have to tell to the user, no, this is the wrong password. Again re-enter your password, correct password. So it will re-enter the correct password. And again if it is wrong, then third time you have to give this instruction. No, again you are passing the wrong password, enter the correct password. Third time also if he is giving the wrong password, then what you have to say? You reach to the maximum limit of the day, please try tomorrow or next day. Are you getting my point? What you have to build? Only building this concept is bit typical or tricky. Apart from that, everything is easy. Whatever I taught you till now, you can build it up. Hope it makes sense. Any doubt? Next, discuss about the another topic, which is function. What is the function? See, in case of Python, there is a two kind of function. One is inbuilt function, or another is user defined function. Inbuilt function are what? Inbuilt function are those which is developed by the developers, means Python developer, like I must say len function. So in case of C, suppose if you go here, if I am defining here L list is equal to 1 comma 2 comma 3 comma 4 comma 5 comma 6 comma 7, and if I am going to check what is the length of this, so len is the function, and here I am passing L, and if I am trying to execute this code, I am getting 7. So I did not define this len function, but still I am able to use this kind of function. So this is the inbuilt function, this kind of functions. Similarly, range is also a kind of function. There is a multiple function you will see. Okay, len, add, remove. Yesterday we had seen pop. Pop is the inbuilt function. Now we are going to define the user defined function. What is the use of the user defined function? Let me elaborate these things. Suppose 1 minute. Control A, Control V. Just now we wrote this line of code. How many lines of code we wrote it here till now? It's around 15 line of code, right? Approximately 15 line of code. Suppose again in the next project, if I want to check the same condition, so what I have to do? Again this 15 line of code, we have to paste it there, right? Don't you think so? We are wasting the line of code and we are wasting our time to do the same action. In order to overcome this kind of problem, we are going to learn the function concept. What is the function concept? Function is the kind of, setup method, means function is kind of, setup code which we can reuse in any project. Okay, like this. I would like to show you like this. Suppose here is the def function and function name, and here I wrote it some function. Suppose 10 line of code I wrote it. Okay, and now if I want to use this function, I can use it up. Let me show you 1 minute. See how to define the function definition, def f1, and here anything you can give, no worries at all, and print, hey man, how are you? So that's all. And now if I'm calling this function from here, f1, if I'm calling, so what the output we are getting? We are getting hey man, how are you? And again if I'm calling the f1, so 2 time how are you should come. So 2 time how are you coming? How many time you are calling the function, that many time how are you will come. Got it? So this is the benefit. Right now we have only one line of code. Have only one line of code. Suppose in future, if you are going to implement 10,000 line of code over there, it will be okay. Now I am going to show you something like def. Suppose addition method. We are going to do the add method. Okay. And now what we are going to do here, add here, and if I'm passing here print the addition of the addition of comma a comma, okay, sorry, a is equal to 2 comma b is equal to 3. Okay, now the addition of a and comma b equal to comma a plus b, that's all. Okay, Is it okay? Now, comma, I made a mistake here. Okay, fine. Now, similarly, I am going to make a method like a difference for the subtraction also. Control V, and I'm not giving this add. Right now I'm giving the subtraction, and here the addition, instead of writing the addition, it should be subtraction. Subtraction of A and B, it should be minus. And similarly, I'm going to give here, again I'm going to make one method like a multiplication, MUL, and here instead of writing this MUL A and B astray, that's all. Okay, division you can make from your end. Okay, and now how we are going to call, suppose I would like to call the add method. So what the output should come? 3 plus 2, 5. If I'm going to call the subtraction method, the what the output should come? Minus 1. Okay, if I'm calling the multiplication method, what the output should come? 6. Let me run this. Can you see this? The addition of 2 and 3 is 5, subtraction of 2 and 3 is minus 1, multiplication of 2 and 3 is 6. Okay, up to this no doubt at all. Do you want to note down? Anyone want to note down, or else I will pass through over the chat? Now, don't you think so? It's not a good practice. Means, again, suppose in case of addition, if you want to change the value, then you have to call programmer, hey programmer, come here, I want to add 7 and 3 in spite of adding 2 and 3. So programmer will come and he will reach at that point and he will change the value and he will done their job. Got it? So this is not a good practice at all. Again I am saying, so this kind of method is known as non-argumental method. Okay, here we are not passing anything inside of method. So what I am going to do, whenever I will call the method, at that time only I will pass the A and B. So I am not going to define this A and B at all. I am not going to define this A and B at all. And now this A and B I am going to pass with the here only. Try to understand what the changes I am doing right away. Got it? So here also I am passing A and B. Okay, no doubt. And now here if you can see, if I am calling the add method, see compiler is giving the suggestion, pass two number A and B. Okay, so here you can pass 2 or 4. Similarly subtraction, if you subtraction if I am calling, I can pass here 5 comma 7, and multiplication के case में भी we can pass two number like a 6 comma 7, 6 comma 6. Let me execute this code. Okay, we did something right, and now the dependency on the programmer is bit less. Means programmer will come and he will change here and code will reflect everywhere. Got it? Now still it's not a user defined program, right? Means user preferred language, right? So what we can do, okay, suppose, okay, that we will see later on. Suppose I want to use the whatever result is coming from the addition, I want to use in during the subtraction. How we can do that? How we can do that? Are you able to do this? So for that, in case of Java, we should define the return type. But here, in case of Python, I'm going to comment this line, guys. I'm going to comment this line, and no need to comment. What I'm going to do, I'm going to do return statement, return A plus B, return A plus B. Oh shit, A plus B. Okay, so A plus B it will return. Now what I'm going to do, okay, before doing anything, I'd like to pass over the chat. So it will be easy to correlate all those things. Okay, this is the one program. Now return type. Now try to understand what I'm doing here. I'm passing a return A plus B. Okay, and here I am doing return A minus B. What is the use of that? Try to understand. Return A minus B. Okay, A minus B. And next multiplication is this, turn A into B. Now what is going to be happen, try to understand. Let me remove this line of code. Now if I'll call the add method now, if I'm passing here 3 comma 5 3 comma 6, so it's a return type, right? And I would like to store whatever result is coming inside of some another variable. You can say addition, something you can give, anything. Variable name should be anything. Okay, so it will store inside of addition. Now if I'm calling the subtraction method, right? If I'm calling the subtraction method, here I'm passing the result which came from the addition method. So here I'm passing addition comma 5, means whatever result came from the add method, with that I am going to subtract the 5. Are you getting my point? Next, similarly, whatever things came from the subtraction, I am going to store inside of subtraction. See, name you can give anything, not a worry at all. Okay, I am giving something relevant name so that we can understand. Okay, so here multiplication, here I am giving MUL, and here I am passing the subtraction. Now sit subtraction and comma 3. Let me execute this code, and you can see 3 plus 6 is 9, and the 9 is going for the subtraction. Are you getting my point? 9 minus 5 become a 4, and 4 is going for the multiplication. Whatever result came from the subtraction, it is going for the multiplication, and 4 3s are 12. Hope it makes sense. What is the use of return type, and without return type, what is the things is going to be happen, right? Any doubt so far? Okay, so this is method, and now let's create one method which will check whether the number is prime number or not. What do you mean by the prime number? So you have to take a number with the user. Okay, take the number with the user and then check the condition. You have to write some logic, so it will answer me whether this number is the prime number or not. Hope it makes sense. It's some typical, but no worries. You try once and take attempt with your side. I'll help you out. Okay, guys. Hope everyone has done. Are you guys getting anything, or shall I type the code?
Hello, sir.
Yeah. Go ahead, Amit.
Here we will use if and else statement.
Yes. That only we have to use. No worries. Yes.
Then if number is divisible by number equals to 1, then print prime, else print not prime. Is it right?
So every number is divisible by 1, right?
Yes.
So in that case, all number will be prime only.
All number, yes. I made a silly mistake.
Okay, no worries. Good effort. No worries. It's a good effort. Okay, let me type the code then. Okay, meanwhile. So what I'm going to do, just make a method def is underscore prime. Okay. Okay, screen is not yet shared. Oh, sorry, my bad. Okay, are you able to see my screen? Yes. So here we can pass the number, we can take a number as with the user input, and then we have to check, we have to apply the condition. What I can do, for n in range leave 1, because every number will be divisible by 1. So leave 1 and 2 comma num. Num means number, whatever number we are passing from there, and then pass it here and done. If we have to put inside of for loop one if condition, if num divisible by n, num is divisible by modulus of n equal to 0. Okay, n is what? Equal. Modulus means what? Are you able to understand? Modulus means remainder. My battery. Okay, let me put on a charger. Okay, so fine. So what is modulus? Modulus is this is known, percentage symbol is known as the modulus, or you can say remainder operator. So how it works? How it works? Try to understand the concept. See, if I am writing here 3 modulus of 2. So if I am going to divide this 3 by 2, so 2 1s are 2 and 1. So whatever remainder will come, it will return this. So what is the output for this? 1. Suppose similarly, if you are writing here 17 modulus of 5, so 5 say 17, you have to divide the 17 with the 5. 5 3s are 15, and what the output we are getting? 2. We are getting 2, right? So this will be the result of this statement. Are you getting my point? Means if you are passing modulus operator, then it will return a remainder of that. That's what a percentage symbol is known as, the remainder operator also. Okay, done. Next, once if what I am checking here, suppose number we passed here 16. So 16 will be divided by n. What will be the value of n? 2. First value 2. So 2, 16 by 2. Okay. If it is divisible by 0, so what I have to do? Say no, it's not a prime number, right? It's not a prime number. Okay. If modulus will be 0, then it's not a prime number. So what I am going to say here, print it's not a prime number, or you can say not prime. Okay. And if it is not prime, so further we should check or not? If it is not prime, then further we should check or not? No, we should not check. Once we identify it not a prime, then why have to check, right? So what we can do, we can break the loop. Okay, break the loop. So we can apply the break keyword and break the loop. Next, if suppose number came, suppose 17 came and it divide by 2. Okay, so 17 divided by, it is not equal to 0. So again n will be increased by 1. So 2 become a 3, and it will divide, the 17 will divide by 3. So it will again, it is not become a 0. Okay, remainder will not 0. It will divide by 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It will go up to what? It will go up to the number, means 17, whatever the 17 is there. So if you means it iterated till 17. Okay, and afterwards none of the value is coming as a 0. So now if condition got, means loop got executed, then next what we can do, we can come out and else we put it here, else if never, and then we can print here, print whatever you can say, it's a prime number. It's a prime number. It is a prime number. Got it. Let me execute this code for you guys, and I am going to call here 16, and let's see whether we are getting the output correct or not. Not prime, 16 is not prime. Okay, if I'm passing 17, let me execute this code. Yes, it is a prime number. Okay, cool. We can able to do this. We can able to identify the prime number also, right? Got it. Any doubt? If you have any doubt, can you please ask me? I'm welcoming all question, whether it's relevant or not relevant also. Any question up to this marks, means what up to this class, whatever we taught you, it's a weekend, so you can ask any question. And I had given a beautiful project to you. It's a kind of dairy milk project. Okay, then hope you understood the this loop concept, function concept, return type, argumental type, all those things, right? Okay, now I'm going to discuss about some beautiful concept, which is iterator and generator. Are you guys not getting bored, right? So hope this will be the last section for today. Afterwards you can enjoy your weekend. I have a doubt. Okay, cool, Sonia. I'm welcoming your doubt. Please go ahead.
Sir, you have discussed about the top project. Sir,
Yeah.
whenever we enter the password,
Yes.
so how do we check that it have exceed the limit? So we will put it
Yes.
in a list and then we will check the length of the list.
No, I am telling you what you can do. You can store your password, means correct password, in some of the variable first, okay, and then ask the user password till 3 times. So you can iterate over the loop, for loop, okay. If 3 times user passed, means suppose first attempt user is passing the correct password, then you have to break the loop using the break keyword. Just now we did, right, in case of prime number. Okay, 1 minute. Yes, let me pass this code also for you. Okay, so here we had done, we had seen, right, if once it is dividing by the any number and its output is getting 0, then we are breaking, right. If the password will match with the existing password or whatever password you set it, so then we have to break the loop. And if it is not there, then we have to continue till 3 times. Or after, if suppose 3 times executed, then we have to give the message to the user, hey user fellow, you exhausted your daily limit. Okay, so try day after tomorrow or whatever you want to set the message. Hope it makes sense. Yes, cool. So see, each code I am passing over the chat, so I am requesting all, please make a note. Otherwise you can do one more thing, you can open your PyCharm only, and in the PyCharm itself you can try with me after pasting it. Okay, see, again I am saying, after the end of the Python class I will take a one class, means I'll take a one exam. Okay, no worries. The generator function for the cube of numbers. Okay, generator function for the cube of the numbers. So what we can do is, anyone is saying, okay, let's do this cube of the numbers. Okay, so let's do this. What I'm going to do, def, and I'm going to define here generate cube, gen, oh sorry, gen cube, and here what I'm going to do, and I'm passing here, and yes, and for num in range, and here I'm passing n, and yield. How it work, I'll tell you. Yield num into 3. Okay, if you want to take a power of any number, means 2 to the power 3, so 2 double asterisk 3 asterisk 3, so it will be work like a power of 3. Are you able to understand what I said? Means suppose if you want to take a power of, means 2 to the power 3, so how you can print, kind of thing. Okay, so it will act like a 2 to the power 3. If you want to print a 2 to the power 4, 2 to the power 4. Got it? So in case of Java, there is a inbuilt function was there, means POW. POW is a function which we have to call to take a power of that. But in case of Python, double asterisk is behaving like this. Okay. Now what we can do, let me execute this. Now yield function, we did the yield function, and now try to understand what we are going to do. Now I'm going to create a B, and here I'm calling iter iterator, and inside of iterator I am going to call GenCube, and here I am passing 5. And now let me execute this code once, and now print next of B. Let me execute this, and what the output we are getting, can you see 0? We are getting 0. Okay, now I'm trying to execute this line of code 3 times. What is going to be happen? Try to understand. This will return kind of list only. Okay, can you see 0, 1 and 8? How it got 2 ka power 3? It will be 8, right? So if I am going to execute fourth time, let me execute this code fourth time. what the output we are getting. 27. Okay, 1 minute. Wait time. Okay, 5, right? 6 time. After 6 it will not work. Sorry. Are you getting this point? After 6 it is saying stop iterations, means here I am passing the cube of 5, means it will create a kind of list with the 5 number 1 comma you can say what is that, 1 minute, 0 comma 0 comma 1 comma 8 comma 27 comma 64. Okay, and after 5 number, if I'm trying to get the number, it is saying stop it, because there is no number at all. Okay, so suppose in case of for loop, we had seen already this concept in the for loop, but how, I'll show you. Okay, what I'm going to do, I'm going to create a new Python file here only. Test2. Okay, I'm creating new Python file. Okay, I'm going to create one loop here, list here, L is equal to this one, and if I'm going to call the for loop, try to understand, we have already seen this concept, for I in range of not range, sorry, for I in L. Okay, and if I'm going to print I, so what is going to be happen, try to understand this concept. Okay, so it, oh sorry, so can you see this 0 1 2 27 64? Because of that, we explicitly saying that loop has to be executed till that time how many numbers are present in the list. But in case of this file, can you see this file, I am not going to define how many time loop has to be executed. I'm calling next. Okay, see, I'll tell you, I'll explain this thing. In a class 6 members are there, so a examiner is sitting in the another room. Okay, first roll number reached to the examiner, he gave their exam, and then he came out, then again examiner calling next, then next roll number is going to him, going there, and then he also done, then again examiner calling next, 5 times, 6 times, he did 6 times, 7 times, if he don't know, because examiner is coming from the outside, right? So examiner don't know ki how many students are sitting in the another room. So 7 times if examiner is calling, then what he is getting? He is getting, oh, stop iteration. Now no students are present there. Got it? But in case of for loop, we already defined ki loop you have to run this many time. How many numbers are present inside of list? But in case of iterator, we are not defining ki how many time it has to be executed. I said ki 5 numbers are there. Okay, done. After 5 6 time, if anyone is calling you, then tell them ki stop iteration, I stop working now. Got it? So this is the concept of iterator and generator. So next is the kind of a function only which will call next. Means what is going to be happen, see, if I'm passing n, 1 minute, what is that? Okay, if I'm passing n and 5 number, it will create a cube of 5 numbers. Okay, 1 0, then 1 ka cube, then 2 ka cube, 3 ka cube, 4 ka cube, 5 ka cube. Okay, so same thing is going to be happened here. So that's all about this. Hope you understood the concept of the iterator and generator. Any doubt, do let me know. Thank you guys.